Last week, we participated in the Ty Evans Cow-Working Clinic with our mules. We got to sort, cut, rope, and herd cattle. I rode my good mule Clyde, and I was sure proud of how far he came from last year's cow clinic. We even managed to throw a loop on a couple of cows, and it was a lot of fun getting to spend the weekend with such amazing mule folks. But now that the clinic is over, it's time to move on to some other fun mule events. This week we're capturing the rough and rowdy Salmon Select Mule Sale.
Sold out, $22,000.
With the Ty Evans Clinic wrapped up, we had to hustle over to catch the mounted shooting competition. We missed a couple of rounds, but were able to catch a few at the end. Mounted shooting is something I would love to do off of Clyde, Rooster, and maybe even Josie someday. In mounted shooting, you use 1 or 2 .45 long Colt revolvers. These are real guns, but the cartridges don't have a bullet. They're called blanks, and they just shoot a small amount of gunpowder. You still need to be careful and treat these guns with respect and caution, but the effective range is only about 15 feet, which makes it very safe for bystanders along the arena fence. Participants shoot balloons, and usually it's a timed event with some tricky maneuvers. These pistols are single action, which means you have to cock them before every shot, which adds to the challenge of the event. But in this case, these riders were mostly just showing off that their mules weren't spooky about the gunfire and didn't do anything with too much speed. People like to show off and demonstrate just what their mules can do, like this guy went ahead and laid his mule down so it was easier for young Levi to jump on and go for a ride with him.
Good job, Levi!
With the day winding down, it was time to go feed our own equines. We have Riata, Clyde, and Rooster even came along with us on this trip.
I always sniff it and then they fog it up.
Rooster's just hanging out to get exposure. For those of you who don't know, this is our Mustang, who we just picked up about 40 days ago at this point. With the equines all fed, we're going to go eat some dinner and hit the hay so we can get up early in the morning and look at all the sale mules.
Today we're at a mule sale in Salmon, Idaho, and we're going to bring you along, tell you kind of what we look for in a good mule, as well as take you along with the festivities, including mule races, mounted shooting, best to pen, and a trail course. But first, we got Rooster here at the fairgrounds, and Alyssa's going to take him out and work with him a little bit in the arena while there's other horses running around and stuff, and just kind of let him continue to soak it in. So we're in for a fun day. Thanks for being here. Let's get Rooster out, see how he does. I can come back and grab it.
I haven't really talked about it, but ever since I adopted Rooster, it's been a goal of mine to get him ready to go to this clinic. This is one of the closer clinics to our place, and I wanted to be able to haul him here and get him exposed to some other horses and riders in just the commotion of events. Since we will be traveling and going to a bunch of Ty Evans clinics as his content managers this year, I want to be able to bring this guy along and have him be pretty chill during the events. I've heard from a lot of different Mustang trainers that one of the hardest things to get them over is being around other horses and riders in an arena type setting. I was a little nervous that Rooster might be really bothered by this, but thankfully he really wasn't. I did work on him getting used to me being up on Clyde and being ponied by Clyde before we came here to give him a little preparation for it. I wasn't sure how Rooster would react to this guy loping around in the arena, but I even led him over pretty close to him as he loped by, and Rooster really seemed pretty unfazed. That's a great sign, and I'm really happy with how this Mustang has been doing since just 40 days ago he was untouched and had never even had a halter on before.
And he's doing well. He's way more.
This whole thing is not even tack.
Since Rooster did so well in the arena, I'm going to take him down the track. It doesn't take us long to find something he's a little bit worried about, so we take a moment to check it out. There are a bunch of vendors to the left of the track, and there's a lot of commotion going on. They're setting up tents and booths. Rooster was particularly curious about one older gentleman who was putting out some bits, so we went over there to check it out. Turns out he is a big fan of Mustangs and really liked Rooster. We talked for a while and Rooster just checked out his booth. There were some horses loping by on the track, but Rooster didn't mind at all. I figured that was pretty good for this morning, so I'm going to go ahead and put him back in his pen, and then we're going to head over and check out all the sale mules. People are starting to show up for the mule sale. There are about every different color of mule imaginable here. It seemed like a lot of the mules this year were fairly old and a lot of them were pretty small. There was this little Palomino mule that I really liked. I think she was probably my favorite out of everything here. It's always a great idea when you come to these sales to come out early and look at all the mules in their pens. You can get an idea of how their demeanor is when no one is around. Some of them will be pacing and others will just be chilling. It also helps to see who is out here already and working their equines before the sale. There were a few people that were loping their mules around for several hours, days before the sale, and that's always a huge red flag in my mind. There are some really honest sellers like the Petersons here from Idaho. We've heard great things about them. They had a mule here that looked similar to Riata. They do a good job and spend a lot of time on their equines. This mule was a taller version of Riata. It was about 16 hands. There are some sellers here that I've never heard of before. There's even a lady from Texas. There are a couple cute dun mules like this one here. This mule has some pretty unique markings on its legs. Its body is solid, but it definitely has some striking socks.
I like your little mule. Can I take a little video of him?
Should I come away?
No, you're good.
This little kid and his mini mule were adorable. He was riding this mini mule all around the fairgrounds this whole weekend. There's even an equine chiropractor here, and he worked on some of the sales mules. Everyone always asks why we roach our mules' manes. Mules really don't grow much of a mane. This mule actually has a pretty decent mane for a mule, so we usually roach them just so that they're clean cut and look good. Things are about to kick off. It is Best of the Pen. Best of the Pen is a timed event. Riders can come in and show off their mule and what they can do with it. They really try to showcase their sale mule, but they only have so much time to do so. It's freestyle and you can do whatever you want in the pen. It is judged and they do give out awards, but mostly these people are just trying to show off how fancy their mules are so that they can get a higher price when the auction starts. We don't ever like to talk bad about any of the sellers, but I will say definitely do your homework when it comes to who you're buying your mule from. Sellers often have a bad or a good reputation for a reason, and it's always great to get some inside knowledge on all of the sellers and their past sales and if people are happy with the mules that they've sold in the past.
Works cattle, branding pin, everything, guys, standing, rock solid while doctoring calves. She can do working, trails, show, collects beautifully, and rides as fancy as you want her to. She's carried the American flag at rodeo. She's good with dogs, easy keeper. See, she's straight up and bridle there, guys. We'll start your 2 minutes.
There are sales like Chrome in the Canyon
35.
that do a good job of vet checks and sifting out mules that might buck or have other behavioral issues. This sale is kind of a free-for-all, and there are some really nice mules here, but there's also some that you need to be aware of. This was a pretty fancy little dun mule. This mule seemed pretty calm, but I did see this guy loping around in a bunch of circles for a couple of hours before the sale, which was a red flag in my mind. This mule's name was Clown, which I thought was a unique and interesting name.
Brad Ford, a 6-year-old John, sharp-looking stocking leg mule. He said he can run a hole in the wind. Easy to ride, soft in the face with a big clean eye. Win the mule race. Look for him later on today. Saddles and bridles easily, is good with his ears. This is hip number 28, Socks.
This seller is a big fan of the mule race and he usually tries to win. He purchases mules that are very fast, but in my opinion, they're usually pretty blown up by the time he brings them to the sale. I don't think I saw this mule walking around when it wasn't just covered in a full body sweat. If you could slow down and put a handle back on this mule, it might be okay, but I definitely think it was pretty amped up during the sale.
He's a little geared up because I got him ready for the race.
Sellers will often come in with props and different things to showcase their mules in this Best of Pen. Most of them demonstrate that their mules can open and close gates. We enjoyed talking with this gal. She is a fan of the channel. She had a couple nice mules. She demonstrates that her mule isn't too touchy about its face and doesn't seem to mind the flag at all. A few of the mules had a little trouble with the gate. It probably would be pretty freaky for a mule to come into this pen with all of the different spectators sitting right next to the fence. I'm not sure Clyde would love that too much. Riata would definitely hate it. We try not to judge too harshly because ours probably wouldn't do that great at this either. A lot of folks will demonstrate that their mules can ride double or bareback.
Mustang's doing great.
I see you got him. She got on him back finally.
Yep,
That's
she sat
quick
on
in a
him.
month.
Yep, and he didn't seem to mind at all.
You picked out a good one.
Yeah, he's here actually.
Oh, did you?
Yep. Yeah.
There you go, lot number 8. That was OJ.
I feel like it's not super common to get mules soft in a snaffle. Most of these riders had big shank bits and were using them with 2 hands, which really isn't the way that a shank bit should be rode in. In my opinion, it seems like most people have a lower standard for mules and they don't expect them to be as soft as horses. I think thinking this way usually makes trainers not care as much to get their mules soft. That's one reason we're huge fans of Ty Evans and Buck Brannaman. Both of them have a high expectation for their mules and are helping to bring to light that mules can be just as soft as horses if you put in the time with them.
30 seconds.
For mules that have just been up in the mountains and outfitted on, this is a lot of commotion and new things for them, so you can't be too critical on them when they come into town like this. Most mules that are just ridden in the mountains and outfitted on don't do well in an indoor arena or around this many people. It's just something they're really not used to. This mule had a little moment of spookiness there when he came through the gate, but after that he seemed like he was doing pretty well. People like to show off fancy tricks and all the different things they can do off of their mule. They're just trying to showcase how gentle and calm their mule is. I jokingly told Jason that we needed to buy this mule so that I could have a matching little pack string. I could go Clyde, this mule, and then Josie, and it would look pretty neat. This mule really did seem pretty calm. He had a little trouble coming through the gate, but overall he seems like a nice mule. He's got definitely a little more coloring than Clyde has. This is the gal that came all the way from Texas to sell her mule here in Idaho. I always wonder why people travel so far to sell mules here. Sometimes prices out west can be higher than back east, but it's still a long ways, and it seems like it would be a wash by the time you paid for all the fuel to get your mule out here. This was a little gated John. The lady even did a demonstration of Liberty work at the end.
Yeah.
That is time. That is hip number 18, all the way from Decatur, Texas. Grace Ann, thank you.
And after the short demonstration of that, she proceeded to give her mule some wormer in front of everyone.
She's got to have her wormer before she leaves the ring, though.
It's always interesting to see what people come up with when they are in the best of pen. It is a freestyle, so you can do whatever you want, and people definitely get creative with it. This is the 4-year-old Palomino Molly that I do really like. She's very green, but she seemed sweet and fairly calm. She probably has some growing left to do as well. I think out of all the mules here, she would be the one I would be interested in. This little mule with the socks seemed like a nice mule. This guy demonstrated how he could lay his mule down to get on. And then did a demonstration that he was okay with tarps. And he showed that his mule wasn't afraid to push this big ball around. These kind of things might seem silly to most of you, but it's just showcasing that the mule is calm and isn't bothered by scary objects. He also fired a few shots off of his mule. Again, these guns are shooting blanks, so they don't actually have a bullet. It's just gunpowder in there. It still makes a very loud noise. Another thing that's important to pay attention to is that these mules are sound. There were a couple around here that I noticed were off. This girl demonstrated that her mule could ride bareback and with just the bridle around its neck.
That is.
Some people go all out in the best of pen, and others just put them through the paces and show that they can walk, trot, lope, and turn both directions. There are also some pack mules selling at this sale, like this little sorrel in the back. These mules are being sold as packers only, which means they probably don't have much, if any, experience as a riding mule. This little mule seemed a little worried about the crowds. It says that she's a 7-year-old Molly, and she has also been driven. Not all of the mules were shown in best of pen, and it looks like everyone that's going to take a turn is finishing up. Next up is the trail course for the mules, so we're going to head over there and get set up. Just like the best of pen, this trail course is a judged event, and they do give out awards, but it's mainly just so the sellers can show off what their mules can do. Before all the festivities, Clyde and I even came over the other night and tried our hand at the trail course. It was pretty fun.
Jump.
There are obstacles like a teeter-totter bridge. There's barrels you have to back through. There's a slicker that you have to move from one barrel to the other. There's a big tire that you've got to step up on. There's a log you've got to drag. And there's some other logs that you've got to cross. And then you've got to go in the middle and show that you can lope both directions. There's a small pattern that they have everyone do. We're going to show you some highlights from this competition, and then we're going to go watch the mule race, which is always one of our favorite things to watch. So sit back and enjoy. With the trail course all wrapped up, it's time for one of our favorite events, the mule race. You guys may have seen thoroughbred races, but have you ever seen a mule race? Well, you're about to.
Okay, we got the mules down at the starting line. Flag is up and then down, the mule race is on. Here we go.
Look at him go. He called it. Yeah, I love.
With the mule race all finished up, the only thing left now is to auction off these mules. We're gonna head in and get a seat and wait for the auction to start. When we got in there and found seats, the little mini mule was riding around. So it was fun to watch this little kid ride his little mule around for a while. Then there were some award ceremonies for everyone who participated in all the events and won.
You get a championship jacket, a buckle, Jim McDonald from Valleywide, and the Tom Nick Memorial. When you look in your catalog, you grab the big winner, $1,000 purse he won, $2,500. He's a $1,000 drifter. He's going to be able to pay me for that white shirt he took last night. Okay, congratulations, Brad.
With the award ceremony over and the auction about to start, the place is starting to fill up and getting pretty darn packed.
Again, we're about 6 minutes away. This is Lee Shamrock Dale. You can see all the info there. 13-year-old, 15-2, blonde, sort of Molly.
$6,000 over here, $6,000 over here, $6,000 mama sin. Mama 5,000 over here. Now 6, now 7, now 7, now $7,000 over here. Got 8,000, 85, 85 out of it.
Under the bargain, help yourself.
85, 85, $5. 5. Sold out. $8,000. You got her right over here. You got her. 8,000. $3,500 over in a 5.
Hey.
35. I got 3. Now 35. $3,500 over in a 35. $6,000 Gooby Rat over here. Mama 6. 6,000. Oh my word! Look at there. 6,000. Oh, look at the rodeo over here. 6,000. Hey. 6,000. He's broke to do anything. 6,000. $6,000 over. That was planned. 6,000. Look how he just stands so tall. Yeah. Nice job there, young man. You did a good job. I told you it'd work. 6,500. You want to try it again? 65. $6,500 over here to 65. Sold out $6,000. $6,000 you got her. 32 and a half, all we're asking. 32 and a half.
That mule right here is a good one. You can ride also.
$3,250 over in the $3,250 sold out. $3,000. 3,000. 65. You're 6. Now 65. 65. Sorry about that. 65. 65. What? 7. Now 75. 75 now. 75. 8,000. Sold out. $7,500 right over here.
Raised and trained mules. You can see this sweet tea, 11 years old, the red dun collie. We saw the info on her on the internet site, all the things they've done with her.
Well, look at this collie. Just look how gentle she is.
Yep.
This non-consuming right there. Look at this. Hey, now what is it? 35. Let's go. 35. Now $4,000 over here. Now $4,000 over here. Mama $4. Now $4,000 over here. 35. Now $4,000.
Hey, darn good mule here, lot 12, pay attention.
$8,000 over here today. $8,000 over here. Over here with Jim. $7,000 now. $8,000 over here today. $8,000 over here to 7 now. Hey, that's 8,000. Look at that. 8,000.
Hey, pay attention, folks. This is a darn good mule.
$9,000.
Pay attention.
$9,000 over here. I can't even get my wife to do that. 9,000. Now 10. Now $10,000 over here to 10. $10,000
Come
over
to
here
the sale, folks. Come to the sale.
Sold out. 11,500. 11,500.
There, 11.5, 11.5.
13.5.
All the info on the internet sites.
$13,500 over in the 13.5. Yes or no?
I'll lose it for that.
13.5. Sold out. $13,000 right over there. 13,000.
Okay.
I win everything. 87 and a half. Gonna sell it. 87 and a half. $8,750 over 80. $87 and a half.
You're missing a good deal here.
87 and a half. Now 9. Now 9. Tom, $9 over here to 9. $9,000 over here to 9.
Don't lose it for 9,000.
You're now 92 and a half. $9,250. 97 and a half. $9,750 over here to 97 and a half. 97 and a half. Sold out. $9,500. Let's go.
He said his daughter Reagan rode this mule all last year in hunting season. He's a really good mule. They'll go anywhere, wherever you point them. Kids and all. I mean, they ride him. He'll pack them up the mountains and they're safe.
10.5. All done. All through. 10,500 going once. Now 11. Now 11. Now 11. 11,000. All done. Now 11.5. $11,500 over here. $11,500 over here. 11.5. Yes or no? 11,000 sold out. $11,000 right here in the front.
Nice mule.
Bar.
4 white socks, 6-year-old.
5,000. Now 6,000. Dan over here to 6. Now $6,000 over here to 6. 6,000. Now 7. Now $7,000 over here to 7. Now 7. Now 8. Now 8,000. 8. Now 9. $9,000 over here to 9. Hey. I like the kids better. 9. $18,000 over to 17. 17. Lindsay, $18,000. Now I don't know. Hey, let the mule kick the ball. Don't you, Grandpa and Dad, do it. Try me. 18.
Well, look at that.
$18,000 over 18. You can see where they spend all their time. 18. $18,000 over 8. I'm going to put $18,000 over 18. Now. 19. $19,000 over here. Now, $19. Yes or no? 19. Now 20. 20.
Oh, look at this, guys. Look at this.
Grandpa, you're gonna hurt your back. You're gonna hurt your back.
Let's get a round of applause for that.
20. Now 21. $21,000 over here. Hey, David, how do you feel now? Yeah.
Says he won't fall off.
He's going to roll. 22, Zach. $22,000 over here. 21 and a half. Now 22. 22, Lindsay. 22. Going once. 22 going twice. Sold out. 21,500 right over here. Thanks, David.
Thanks, Dave.
$47,500. $4,750.
This is cheap, folks. This is a super nice
Way
one.
under the money. We're going to sell. Sold out. $4,500. 186.
Kind of getting around together. Okay, so the harness is coming with it. The wagon is for sale, but not coming with them. But the harness is coming with these mules. Now,
Okay, folks, hang on here. It's our friend Mike from Billings, Montana. First time here at the sale. We sure enjoyed dealing with him. Let's see how they like.
We'll get 10,000, 10,000, let's go. 10,000, 10,000, 10.
Yes, 10,000.
12,005, now 12,500, 12,500, now 15, 15,000, now 17,500, 17,500, 17,500 over here, 17,500, 17,000, 21, sir, 21, 21. $21,000 over here, 21. You're out. 21. 2, 3, 23.
You don't see mules like this every day.
23. That's 22. I have you. 23. 23. 23. I have 3,000. 23,000. 23. Sold out. $22,000. 3-3.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.